Audio Jungle.
This is the IMS Evening News with Tina Tipster, reporting from the IMS News Desk in Jupiter, Florida.
Hello and good evening. With the fall election campaign now underway, many voters are beginning to take a closer look at the candidates running for office in the area. One of the more high-profile races is the run for first selectman in the town of Colchester. Here with me this evening are First Selectman Greg Schuster, who is running as his third term as First Selectman, and Seth Rogers, the surprise challenger, from Florida but with roots in Colchester, and if the polls are to be believed, a serious contender for this locally important race. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to have you host this debate. You're definitely the most trusted newswoman in all of Florida. Honored to be here.
Let's get right to it, gentlemen. Of course, the number one topic on voters' minds these days is jobs. And while the unemployment rate in Colchester is actually below the state average, many feel that the employment picture could be better in our area. Mr. Rogers, can you tell our viewers what you would do if elected to First Selectman to bring more jobs to our community?
Colchester is a great place to live, but it needs more quality jobs. As First Selectman, I will work hard to bring new businesses to Colchester, especially in aviation, medicine, and manufacturing. One way I will do this is a 10-year property tax exemption for new businesses that come to Colchester with jobs.
First Selectman Schuster, this is an aggressive proposal. Is this, do you feel, enough to bring better jobs to Colchester? What do you propose?
Well, my proposal is to continue doing some of the initiatives that I've started over my terms as a First Selectman. We need to go ahead and extend the utilities, namely the sewer and water system, to new areas of town. And it's important to remember that the government doesn't create jobs, private sector creates jobs. And so anything we can do to reduce the cost of private sector businesses opening here in Colchester will just improve the outlook for future jobs. In the next couple of weeks, Tractor Supply is going to open up a new store here with another 20 or 30 jobs. We're really looking forward to that. I think my opponent's ideas are very good. One of the challenges he's going to face, though, is that by state law, they're not legal. State law is very prohibitive on what tax breaks a local municipality can give, and I would certainly hope that we could expand on what towns can do in order to give tax breaks.
Moving on now to another important local issue, the environment. There has been noise this year from pro-growth advocates that wetland protection regulations are too rigid and are slowing the economic recovery. First Selectman Schuster, what is your position on filling wetlands for proposed suburban residential development? Do you support some compromise in wetland protection for the sake of economic growth?
I don't really think we have to compromise in that area. Protecting the environment is one of the critical things we do here as a government. We've been able to get in significant economic development in the center of town, also on the outskirts of town, without having any really large environmental impact. In terms of residential development, it's really not an issue. Colchester is a very large town. We're nearly 50 square miles, and we have plenty of space for future growth. Everyone here wants to preserve the environment, and there's ways that we can have both business and the environment coexisting at the same time.
Thank you, First Selectman. Mr. Rogers, what is your position on wetland protection and development?
Well, like most people in Colchester, I value our wetlands because they help us have clean water. In some cases, though, we can allow developers to build around wetlands in a careful way so that they do not hurt wildlife. But in very sensitive wetlands, there should be no building allowed whatsoever.
Partisan fighting among the Board of Selectmen during town meetings is increasingly cited as the reason for deadlock on important town business. If elected first selectman, what would you do to curb partisan bickering and find common ground? Mr. Rogers?
If I am elected for first selectman, I will make a more structured discussion format for town meetings and make sure that board selectmen stick to the agenda and don't get off topic. But I'm 12 and I have a brother that's 9, so I've learned that we have to make compromises so things can work out well. I'll also work with the town committees and the board of selectmen to reach compromises whenever necessary.
And First Selectman Schuster, what new approaches would you take to improve cooperation among the board?
I think cooperation has been going very well over the last few years. I think about 98 to 99% of our votes are actually unanimous. Occasionally there are times when we do have some disagreements. It's important to remain not be disagreeable when you have those disagreements. Sometimes it comes down to a vote, and sometimes that's a split vote, and it happens and you move on. I also think
Okay, we are out of time, so we are going to leave it there. First Selectman Greg Schuster and surprise candidate Mr. Seth Rogers, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck to both of you. Up next, Mr. Gallo of IMS Middle School proposes a new homework law. Stay tuned.